will now be recorded.
So Splunk is a software platform to search, analyze, and visualize the mission-generated data gathered from websites, applications, sensors, IoT devices, etc., and make your IT infrastructure and business well. So basically, mission data is nothing but log files. So mission data is nothing but log files, which stores all the activities, operations, and performance of the devices like sensor, router, IoT devices, servers, websites, and applications, and cloud services, etc. Examples of mission data is application logs, server logs, and business processing logs. Call detail records and sensor data are the primary examples of mission data. So mission data is in the form of unstructured format, like sensor, router, IoT devices, cloud devices, or cloud services, mobile devices, whatever it may be, all will generate the data based on their activities, operations, and performances. That will be in the form of unstructured. This unstructured data is not at all suitable and also complex to understand, and as in the unstructured format, and it is also not suitable for analysis and visualization. So for that, I need one tool to do this activity. So in the market, there are multiple tools in the market. So we can say ELK, Sumo Logic, Dynatrace, App Dynamics, Negios, Datadog, Logstash, Logily, IBM Curator, SolarWinds, McAfee, HP Oxide, SIEM tool, RSA Envision, Logarithm, and Netcool, LogDNA. Like 20 plus tools are there. Observability, Grafana Observability. Okay, 20 plus tools are there. Okay, but every tool has its own specialization. For example, ELK, it is a open source, but some of the features they are asking for money. Okay, and it is good in log analysis as well as security analyst also, but some of the drawbacks are there. We need something, three softwares to do all this process. I will explain you. Sumo Logic, it is completely work on log analysis. Is one type of tool which is used in the DevOps. No, it is another alternate tool. Alternate tool for Splunk. Grafana is also work for the log monitoring. Mostly APM module, application performance monitoring, dashboards and everything is there. APM operations only, application performance monitoring only they can use mostly. Let's say, for example, Datadog also observability or application performance. Logstash, log analysis only. IBM Curator only security analysis. This side all will be on security analysis. This is mostly on APM module or observability in specifically or monitoring of logs. But Splunk can do both hands. Total four can suit easily.
Is Splunk open source?
It's a paid one, but for our practice, we have a 60 days trial version. That is more than enough to do that activities. After 60 days, again, you can uninstall and reinstall it. You will get again 60 days trial. No IP address tracking or something else. Like that, you can utilize. If it is a Splunk cloud means, so 14 days trial version will be there. After that, again, one more mail you need to create, and you need to create with another cloud. But enterprise version, no need. 60 days, you will get a free trial. With that, everything you can do.
Yes. Which one will they use? Company is cloud one or on-premise one?
Mostly both are. So most in the still 60% people are using on-premises only. 30 to 40% people are using cloud, and that also 20 to 20% are in Splunk cloud. 10 to 15% are in Splunk Enterprise with AWS cloud, Azure cloud, GCP cloud.
Okay.
That means
cloud, can you cover
everything?
Okay.
All three modules I will cover. Don't worry.
Okay.
All three modules I will cover. No, please.
Elasticsearch, Logstash, ELK abbreviation.
ELK means E stands for Elasticsearch, L stands for Logstash, K stands for Kibana, not KIBAN, Kibana. So basically, these are three softwares. Okay, three softwares are used for doing the entire operations. Actually, for example, there is a data in Srinivas laptop. Srinivas in some other place. I want to get the data from Srinivas laptop to my laptop. From there, I need to write a query and I need to create an analysis. You got my point. So in that case, Srinivas laptop, I need to install the Logstash software. Logstash act as an input. Okay, my laptop act as a such storage, elastic such, storage and such. Again, visualization purpose, Kibana software. 3 softwares are using for the inputting, storing, and searching. You got my point. But in the Splunk itself act as a input, Splunk itself act as a storage, Splunk itself act as a search, and visualization also. That we have. And coming to other benefits also, I will tell you. Wait, but first, the main point is use storage.
Drawbacks and drawbacks.
I will explain. So today entire class will be today that only. Definitely, I will tell you advantage as well as drawbacks also.
Drawbacks. Yeah,
Advantages we need. First advantages. The first advantage is huge storage capacity in the form of clusters. Huge storage capacity in the form of clusters. Cluster is nothing but group of servers. Very important, sir. For understanding this, actually, how Splunk got this much of huge storage capacity? The reference storage where it is getting. Okay, do you got my point? It's a simple statement, sir. This statement, if you understand, that's enough. But my intention is that how the
Screen
data.
is, I mean,
Sorry.
it's very limit actually. Can you zoom it that one? Screen content not able to see. Yeah. Okay.
Just
That's
focus on
yeah.
first 3 points. I will tell you 3 points first, and after that we'll talk about it. Clear? Huge storage capacity in the form of clusters. Cluster is nothing but group of servers. Group of servers. Sir, okay, now you understand Splunk has its own storage capabilities, and you can store huge amount of data coming from the different sources. But how it get? What is the reference of Splunk actually? Actually, the reference of Splunk is big data Hadoop. So actual Splunk was designed for big data. Splunk for big data. So what is big data? So shall we just go through the sum of the story here? Okay. So normally, for understanding purpose only, sir, these are all. Okay, normal flow, how IT companies will follow. So normally, you have a database. Let's say, for example, there is a HDFC bank. In the HDFC bank, you have a lot of you have accounts. Some people have accounts. All these guys are doing some transactions. Let's say, for example, so what's the name? Sorry, Pradeep is trying to do some transaction to send some money to some Ravi. Okay, so for that, Pradeep needs to select an account. He need to add a beneficiary as a Ravi account, and after that, Pradeep needs to maintain some amount. Okay, and in their account, and you need to select the beneficiary account and you need to send it. For that, first money will be deducted from the Pradeep's account, then only money will be credited. Sorry, yes, then only it will be credited to the Ravi's account. That means money was deducted at first. Whether it was credited or not, first it will be deducted from Pradeep account, then it will credited to Ravi account. Do you got my point? If anything happened in between, entire transaction will be rollback. Rollback means you need to start from the first. You got my point? So this is happening. This all we call it as a acid properties. Acid properties in the database point of view. Okay. So all these transactions and operations will be maintained in the databases. Will be maintained in the databases. So databases are different types. Relational databases are there, and non-relational databases are there. Most important is MySQL databases. Okay, like RDBMS databases. RDBMS, relational database management systems, very reliable and very fast and very good in the usage. Okay, out of 100%, 90% people will use the RDBMS databases. Next, there we have a MongoDB. MongoDB. So basically this we call it as a NoSQL databases. NoSQL databases. NoSQL. Okay. NoSQL databases. Got my point, sir? Now, so all the transactions based on the requirement, these guys will maintain in these databases. Okay. Now, in generally, the database RDBMS databases are good in performance. RDBMS databases are good in performance, bad in storages. Understand, sir? They don't have that much of storage capabilities. Okay. Whereas NoSQL databases are good in capacity. Capacity means storage. Capacity means storage. Bad in batch processing. Bad in batch processing. There are two types of process are there, sir. Two types of processes are there. Okay. So don't think it is none of our business. If you understand this, every piece of things in the IT industry you can understand. Okay. Two process. One is online process and other one is batch process. Online process considered as a real time, sir. Real time. Batch considered as a historical. Let's say, for example, in simple example, HDFC Bank is there. So there is a SR Nagar branch is there. In the SR Nagar branch, so some 1 lakh accounts are there. Okay. All these users are trying to check their own balance and trying to check their own statements, trying to check their own transactions. That will come under the online process. End of the month, SR Nagar branch manager added money to the accounts who are maintaining a huge amount in their accounts, like in adding the interest rates. Okay. And detecting the money based on the average balances. You got my point? These all will be considered as a batch process. Got my point? So that means that, so real-time operations can be considered as online, like considered as streaming data. So after that, batch processing will be a non-streaming data.
Salary also.
Salaries, credits, it will be coming under the batch processing only. Batch processing only. So batch processing will be historical process. Okay. Historical reports all will be considered as a batch reports. Okay. Considered as legacy data. Legacy means already available, you have multiple data. Got my point? So now, in that case, NoSQL databases are good in capacity, but bad in batch processing. But nowadays, batch processing is more important. If you want to do, for example, descriptive analysis will be done now. Batch processing only. No? Yes, sir. What happened up to now will be on.
Data.
Yes, you need much data. No? So that based on the requirements, I'm not going, we are not at all a SQL persons. Okay, we are not going to deep into the sites. Okay, but understand RDBMS database are good enough in the store performances in any process, but capacity wise lower. NoSQL databases are bad in batch processing, but capacity wise good. Based on the company requirements, they can choose any of the database. Okay, but any days, end of the day, databases can support storages within GBs only. Within GBs only. That means that limited period, limited data storages, whatever it may be, whether it is 100 GB, 1000 GB, or 2000 GB, not much there. Let's say, for example, you can maintain your data in for last 2 years, or 3 years, like that. You got my point, sir? 3 years data, like that. Understand, sir? Yes or no? No. If you talk about HDFC Bank, HDFC banks needs some data analysis. Let's say here some 2 years data is there in the database, MySQL database or NoSQL database, whatever it may be. You need some analysis. You need some analysis on the top of the 2 years and 3 years data. So for that, where you have a data, on the top of the data only, you need to apply the analysis. So for that, assume that you have a SQL query. Okay, database will support with SQL query, no? Structured query language. So with the help of SQL query or Power BI or Tableau, you are trying to access the data. Okay, with the help of SQL or Power BI or Tableau, we are accessing the data and we are going to do data analytics. You got my point, sir? Yes or no? But one hand, the data is storing by a application real-timely that are connected with production systems. It's keep on writing the data. Other hand, you are trying to read the data and creating a multiple reports. What will happen to the systems? It will be maybe a performance issue. Let's say, for example, right now I am teaching the class. Okay, somebody called me from the outside. So I just gave an answer with the hand. That is a small operation. I don't no need to go there and I need no need to spend the time with them. With a hand, I just give the reply. This is a small operation, but I need to go there means this class will be disturbed. No? I already connected with real time, na? Online. Na? You got my point? Production service, na? You are the production service. You are keep on listening my classes. If I go there means this will be disturbed. You got my point? But small operations can be done. That means daily, weekly, monthly reports you can do. Normal data analytics you can do. But if you want to do some complex operations, complex analysis, what is the sales on last year and previous year, last 10 years? Is it possible? So that immediately what will happen? Database get a performance issue. That's why even though this is one problem, and the second problem is, first problem, please tell me, sir. Performance issue by applying on same servers. Okay, performance issues. Okay, the second point, databases are anyways, they are not good in the capacities. Okay, so that means that very limited period of data only it will be available. If you want to do 10 years analysis means it's not possible. That means limited data supports. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Third point, please tell me. Database in nature, the architecture of database will be on row storages. What is that? Row storages. There are two types of rows. The data was stored in the form of rows only. The drawbacks in the rows are, okay, the faster in writing. First advantage, fast writing, okay, fast modification, fast update, editing, like DML operations, DML, data manipulation language. In the SQL there is a DML query, data manipulation language, like insert, update, delete, and update. Insert, update, delete. Got my point? For these operations, row storages are good suitable. But if you want to read the data, advantage. But disadvantage is you can't search relevant data. Unnecessary data also will be searched. Unnecessary data will be searched. Got my point, sir? So because of unnecessary data search, exact data you are not searching. That is drawback. Got my point, sir? So that these are the drawbacks. That's why what happened in the real time, some certain period of data only maintained in the databases, and from there what they will do, they used to send the data to storages. storages. You got my point, sir? Storages. They won't maintain entire data into their databases. Let's say, for example, storages like first they used to use the storages like, did you heard about it in the earlier 90s, okay, 2000s like that? We used to store the data in the magnetic tapes. Magnetic tapes. Magnetic tapes. Rails are there, no? After that, they used to store the data in the floppy disk. And after that, they used to store the data in the CDs and DVDs. After that, they used to store the data in the pen drives, not pen drives, actually sandboxes. Okay, like NFS storages, SAN storages are there, SAN and NAS. Okay, storage area network and network NAS, network area storage, something as that, something. I will show you. SAN and NAS storages are there. And now then they used to use hard disk. Hard disk. Do you got my point, sir? And after that, still what will happen with this problem? These are just storage capabilities. Now, again for this, if you want to do data analytics, they need to attach a compute power. Attach needs to be compute power. No? These are storages, but compute power is needed. No? If you want to do some analytics, we need some other compute power. No? Compute power is different, storage is different. You got my point. Your data is in the storage, but if I want to do some compute operation, we need a CPU and RAM. You got my point. CPU and RAM. These are just a storage, like a hard disk. But to do some operations, we need a compute power, CPU and RAM. So for that, again, they will use to attach some compute power to these storages, and then they used to implement some Power BI or Tableau or some SQL clients. They used to implement on the computer, and they used to create data analytics. Again, it will be a tick process now. People are facing a problem, but anyways, they used to adjust all the time. And then in the 2000s, in 2004, okay, actually the main purpose is data analytics, sir. You got my point. For this only, it all coming into the picture. Okay, nowadays also everything will be data analytics only. You got my point. In the IT industry. Now come in 2004, we have a data warehouse called Teradata. What is that? Terra. First data was Teradata. Data warehouse. Okay, data warehouses are a storage capabilities which is exclusively used for data analytics. Exclusively used for data analytics. So that Teradata is the one of the first data warehouse in the 2004 earlier. It will be released. Okay, people are trying to utilize. Let's say, for example, here 2 years or 3 years if they are maintaining. So if you have a 10 years of history, all current and historical data is maintained here. Current and historical data. That means all data here only. That means based on the requirement, they used to connect to Teradata systems, and from here onwards, they used to do data analytics. You got my point, sir? Yes. That means without disturbing, what happened? For storing the data, databases. For data analytics, we have a data warehouses. Analytics. Do you got my point, sir? Data analytics we can do on the data warehouses. But again, unfortunately, Teradata have some drawback. Teradata can support up to 300 to 400 TB of storages only. On the industry standards are telling that these are good enough on up to 300 to 400 TB storage. Sir, don't go and check in the Google and ChatGPT and don't blame me. In generally, I am talking, just concentrate on the concept. Okay, we are not at all exclusively on database people. Okay, so now 300 to 400 around that. So this is the capacity they can maintain. But If it is 10 years, 300, okay. If it is 20 years of HDFC Bank, 300, 400 TB of GB won't be supported. Na? So again, people are facing a problem to maintain that much of huge storage capabilities. Then the God, Mata, Pita, everything for the storage came into the picture. Who is that? Hadoop. After Hadoop only, everything was changed in the storages. In our years of 2017 or even 13, 14 also. So we need a big hard disk for 1 TB. Now 1 TB is coming in one small chip. You got me? Even not 1 TB, 2 TB, 3 TB also coming in the small chip because of Hadoop only. Why Hadoop came into the picture? So how it was changed the face of the storages. We'll talk. In 2006, actually, it was coming to the picture, sir. Hadoop, the big data. Hadoop, the big data. Got my point, sir? But they start using from 2011, 12, sir. 2011, 12. Actually, at my passed out was BTech 2013. Okay, at the time I used to go to my brother's room mostly. They are sitting in Amirpet only. So almost to 10 people in their room. So 8 people will went to learn the Hadoop course on. That much of famous on that time, 2011 12. Out of 2000 institutes, all 95% institutes, they are teaching Hadoop on that time. And 80% of students are learning that Hadoop at that time. That much of famous at that time, 2011 12. It was started from 2011 12 only, but released on 2006. Okay, so now what happened in the Hadoop is you can maintain unlimited data. That's the first point. And the second point is the data was supported with the file format HDFS. Hadoop distributed file system. Hadoop distributed file system. And that too, the data was compressed and encrypted. You got my point, sir? These are the most important benefits we have. So unlimited in the form of clusters. Got my point, sir? So first point is unlimited storage capabilities in the form of clusters. Second advantage is HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system, and that too compressed and then encrypted. Not normally you are storing some data, na? The data you are getting in the form of tables also, whatever it may be, whatever the input, the data was stored in the format as file. Hadoop storages are like a D drive, C drive, E drive file system. The data will be in the form of stores. For example, you gave a thousand records in the form of table. Okay, so it will convert into CSV. For example, emp table dot okay CSV dot gz in the form of file, and that too gz is the compression format. Like this, it will store. That means if you give 100 GB also, it will store within the 20 to 30 GB of data. You got my point? Like that, you can maintain HDFC file system. Same HDFC file system only taken by reference by cloud. AWS cloud, Azure cloud, GCP cloud supports with DFS, distributed file system only. Distributed file system only. Hadoop only for the cloud. Same file system used by S3 storage. You are storing in the form of files only, na? That will be stored in files. That too in the compressed format. That too in the encryption method. Same file system. You got my point? Same. Father of the cloud storages are Hadoop only. That only item. Father.
It is not there for Hadoop.
still going on, but the new opportunities are not there. Why? Because people are updated to cloud. That's the cloud data warehouses they are mostly choosing. Now famous is cloud only, na? So that people are Hadoop have simple. Hadoop is the master actually, but same operations are done in the cloud. So that people are attracting to cloud. Instead of Hadoop, people are using Snowflake. Snowflake is the alternative for Hadoop. Did you heard about it?
Yeah.
Snowflake. So Snowflake is a cloud data warehouse. Cloud data warehouse. Alternate for Hadoop. Okay, like AWS Redshift, Azure Synopsys, in Google BigQuery. Teradata also cloud platform is there now. Teradata also cloud. Like these are alternatives. These are data warehouses which are exclusively used for data analytical operations. Okay, all data analytical people will use to connect this data warehouses. Got my point? Now, if you understand, now Hadoop is coming to the picture. But how Hadoop is maintaining that much of huge storage capacities? I already told you in the form of clusters. Cluster is nothing but group of servers. Let's say, for example, you have one server here. This is another server. This is another server. This is another server. So just use this. See, this is cluster 1. This is cluster 2. This is cluster 3. See, this is one server, sir. For example, it has 1 TB storage and 10 GB RAM. So that 8 servers means 8 TB storage and 8 into 80 GB RAM. Okay, this is one cluster. Like that, multiple clusters you can add. So that power of capacity and compute power is more, no? Listen, with that, you are getting a huge storage capacity. In simple understanding, database is nothing but car. You can just put up to 15 to, 7 to some 30 to 15 people. If it is Tavera car, 15 people will support to travel. Teradata is nothing but bus. You can travel up to some 60 to 100 people if it is a double truck or something like that. Hadoop is nothing but train. You can go whatever you want. You can attach just a bogies. Bogie is nothing but a cluster. Cluster. Bogie is cluster. On the seats are computers. Computers having a storage. You can increase computer seats in the bogie. You can attach multiple bogies to the train. So both options are there. Here, for example, in entire computing system, in the entire storage capabilities or any operations in the IT industry, 2 options are there: vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. Horizontal scaling. So many people, so many data analytical people don't know about these 2 things, but you need to understand. Horizontal scaling is, vertical scaling is nothing but, let's say for example, my computer having 16 GB RAM and 500 GB hard disk. I'm not happy with this power. We'll try to go and increase 16 to 32 GB. Okay, 32 to 64 GB. You got my point. 500 to 1 TB, 1 TB to 2 TB. I can increase and I can utilize it. Let's say instead of investing 2 TB and some 64 GB RAM, it is too costly. My operation 16 GB is enough. I just reduced to that. That means increasing the resources within the computer and decreasing the resources within the computer is called it as vertical scaling. scale up and scale down, scale up and scale down. Got my point, sir? Within the computer, you are increasing and decreasing. That is vertical scale. Sir, for example, you are increasing, sir, up to one certain extension only you can increase it. No? After that, you can't increase it. Why? Because your hardware system won't be supported. Then what you need to do? You need to purchase one more computer. Do you got my point? So still you are not sufficient with 2 computers. One more, 3 computers, 4 computers. So suppose you have a 10 computers, you are not utilizing 10. You are reducing to 3 computers. You got my point? That is called horizontal scaling. Scale out and scale in. Scale out and scale in. Horizontal computer. That means within the cluster or within the environment, you are increasing the computers and decreasing the computers is a horizontal scaling. Within the one computer, you are increasing and decreasing the resources is a vertical scale. In entire database, data warehouse, this will be safe. Or data analytics. Entire company, towards the IT industry, it is safe. Very important interview question. Very, very important interview question. You got my point? First, I am just keeping a one computer, sir. It is not sufficient. I will add one more computer. If you add one more computer, one more computer. You got my point? But somewhere, technology to technology, it will be different. For example, in the Hadoop point of view, what will happen? It is in the form of cluster, na? One cluster act as a one storage. You got my point? This is cluster, na? Within this cluster, nodes are increasing and nodes are decreasing. Within this cluster, computers are increasing, computers are decreasing. You got my point? For example, you have a 10 computers, you are reducing to 5. You have a 5, you are increasing to 10 within the cluster. You got my point? That is a vertical scaling. Normally, previously, what I explained, computers increasing and decreasing means horizontal, na? You got me? But here in the cluster point of view, within the cluster, nodes are increasing and decreasing. Vertical scale. Clusters are increasing and decreasing. Horizontal scale. Why? Because cluster point of view, one cluster acts as one computer. That means bogie act as one computer, one storage, entire storage. Got my point? But normal usage point of view, computer will be computer. Got my point? Same concept in Snowflake, Redshift, BigQuery, Synopsys, Hadoop. Same concept in Splunk.
Snowflake is also something like Hadoop only, right?
Same Hadoop only. That is on-prem, that is cloud. Nothing more than that. Now, sir, now you guys understand data warehouse concept. Data warehouse is for purely for data analytical operations. Nobody in real time, they won't connect to databases directly. Only our Power BI trainers, Tableau trainers will connect to what we can call databases, and they used to query the data for sample purpose and showing the practicals. But in real time, got my point? For practical purpose only used to connect the databases, but in real time, all data analytical operations can be done on data warehouse. Got my point, sir? Now come to the picture. Again, I will try to explain.
Small doubt.
Yes, please.
This, data will be stored in which format?
It all depends. File system. All data warehouses will support. Depends. For example, you are giving a input as a CSV file. Okay, so CSV file will be in the CSV format with the zip format. Parquet 2 with the snappy file format. They have own algorithm. Based on the algorithm methods, they used to compress and they used to store it. Okay, so basically Hadoop will support with mostly Parquet 2, Avero and Parquet 2 support. Whereas Snowflake will support with the CSV, Parquet 2, Avero, XML, all. Depends. But end of the day, it will be in the file format, it's in the compressed and encryption. Got my point? So while you are querying your file also, it will give it as a table only. The operation will be happen. Showing that into table only. But table will be stored as a file. Rows and columns only. But table is file and save. It will be showing. for accessing purpose, for viewing purpose, stable. Now you understand, sir? Now my question is, there is a Hadoop. All are happy with Hadoop. Then why Hadoop was upgraded to cloud? Now question is, what is on-premises and what is cloud? Hadoop is actually a on-prem clusters. Hadoop is nothing but on-prem clusters. And why people are more interested on cloud? This is my question. So that means people are not using Hadoop nowadays. Why? This is my question. Hello? Hello? అవునండి చెప్పండి. What happened? Okay. Sorry. Got it. So why? Because the first thing is on-prem is nothing but physical servers or physical storages are physically you need to maintain in the company premises only. Whatever the resources needed in the IT industry, whatever the, in generally I'm talking on premises, whatever the resources needed in the IT industry all needs to be maintained, and managed by company itself. Understand, sir? Cloud is nothing but whatever the resources needed in the IT industry needs to
The third party.
maintained and managed by any cloud vendors in the form of data centers, okay. And the advantage is use after pay, use after pay after use, pay after usage.
How much usage we did that much?
How much? But here you need to invest first. So what is that on premises? First one, investment. First you need to invest it. So what I will do, example I will tell you first. Example for understanding purpose. Power generated with solar panels. Second example, light usage from the candles or something like that. Okay. Third example, homemade food. Examples of power utilizing from governments. Second example, hotel food. This is, I think, light is not enough. No need. You got my point, sir? See, if you see some power generation with solar panels, do you know? First, you need to purchase the solar panels. Investment.
Need to maintain battery.
Investment. First, infra is needed. You need some place to place that one. Infra. Next, time taken to installation. Time taken to install. That means panels you want to install in your home, top of your home means it will take time. Limitation. Let's say your solar panels are producing some 100 megawatts, but you are utilizing only, you need some 20 megawatts. Only your 10 only, now it will be supported. But again, remaining 10 means again investment. Limitation is there. Next, your panels are supporting 10 megawatts, but you are utilizing 5 megawatts only. You got my point? 5 megawatts are wastage. Wastage. Next, sixth one. Latency. Sometimes raining. Yesterday, entirely it was rained due to sun, no sun. So maybe there is a no latency. If something happened to the panels, entire will be collapsed. So that
We need to
no disaster recovery. No disaster recovery. You got my point, sir? These all are the problems. But these all can be overcome with the cloud. Got my point, sir? Overcome. How? No investment. If you observe power utilization from government, no investment. 100 rupees, 100 or 1000 rupees will take the account from the government. They used to have a meter, that is also meter charges. So they will have connect a line and they used to send the power. If anything happened also, we'll just call to the substation, we lost the power. If the power is not there for the government, they will produce from coal, they produce from wind, they will produce from water. It's none of our business. Even sometimes transformer will be got failed, so it will connect to the another transformer or another line. Instead of three phase, they will give you one phase. You got my point? So no investment, no infra to maintain that much of use hardware, and also time taken to install. No, it's all taken care by government itself. Limitation. Yes, no limitation. How much units you want, you can utilize. Pay for that much of units only. Today you are not utilizing any more units, just basic bill you pay, that's more than enough. That means wastage also no latency, and also no disaster recovery, even everything. So if you talk about homemade food, if you prepare food from you, first you need to invest the money to purchase the ingredients, take the ingredients and cleaning it, preparing it. These all are the problems, right? Yeah. Let's say your mother cook for the three people, but two people only eat. One people food will be wasted. Your mother cook for three people, but four people come into the picture. No food for the fourth people. If while cooking the food, some legend has fallen that food, no disaster record, no food for you. Yes or no? And to eat the food, it is very latency. Cooking process and cleaning process and everything will be there. Latency. These all are the problems. If it is a hotel, simple. Already 3 days back, his food is there. You just heat the food and eat it. Today you want one item, you two item, three item, you can order and you can eat it. 10 people go, 10 people eat, 10 people food money only you need to pay. Okay, security point of view, leave it. It's all depends upon the god. You got my point. That's why nowadays people still, some are using on premises, like banking sectors are still on the on premises. Okay, some are still on the cloud. Nowadays, out of 100%, 60% are depending on hotels only. Only 30 to 40% people are depending on homemade. But it is not good for health also. But
No choice.
no choice. Here also, companies know whether it is a security issues or not, but they don't have choice.
some 7 months back, Microsoft Cloud was down for nearly 12 hours or 18 hours. Entire
We'll
flight,
talk later. We'll talk later. That already talked in
Demo.
demo. In our demo, we already talked. So we'll talk more on it. No problem. So this is the problem. So previously at our childhood, to purchase a bicycle, it is too difficult. That's why we'll just give 1 rupee and we'll rent for 1 hour and we'll ride and we'll return back that bicycle. Same that process only. It is not a new business. Tent house purchasing that much of cooking dishes, bowls and everything is not easy.
Yes.
So that go and approach the tent house and taking that and utilize it and paying the money for 1 day or 2 day. It's not a big what new idea. Actually, data center or a cloud is not a new idea. They copied from tent houses. They copied from bicycle renter. They copied from Ola. You got my point. They copied from Rapido. Ola, not Rapido. Ola, rent a bike, na? Got my point. So this is a cloud. You got my point. But before cloud, now cloud and on-premises understand, na? So that's why people are trying to update to cloud data warehouses. So on that case, cloud data warehouses, Snowflake is the best example. But whatever it may be, before cloud, people still on-premises, na? Then in the on-premises, what is the problem? Investment. Investing more money on the storage capabilities. You got my point. It is not easy, na? That's why what they used to do is, let's say for example, in our BTech stage of BTech time, if you have a lot of content of 100 GB, okay, you have 10 songs, for example, to listen, but your storage is 512 only. What you will do? Whatever the favorite songs you will maintain. Actually, your interest to maintain 100 songs, but you are maintaining only 10 songs, which was liked by you. Why? Because there is no chance, no choice, and also you don't have money. There is a choice. You can increase for 500 GB also, but at the time, cost will be too much. 512 means 10,000. If it is 500 GB means it is 1 lakh at the time. There is no choice in your category. That's why what you will do, instead of maintaining 100 songs, you are maintaining 10 songs which was liked by you. Same like that. Here also, same. Instead of maintaining entire 10 years data into data warehouses,
Keeping only 3 years of
not 3 years now. Whatever the data analytical operations you needed, importance. So for data, end goal is data analytics, na? So based on the data analytical rules, okay, so they used to understand, okay, this data we needed, this data we needed, this data is not needed. You got my point? These segregations and separations are coming to the picture. Instead of maintaining 100 TB, they used to maintain the data of 100 GB only. But segregation needs to be happened, na? That's why in the middle, ETL tools into come into the picture. Did you heard about that?
Yeah.
For example, Informatica. F4. Okay, Informatica, data stages, Abnisho, Altrix, okay, SIS, okay, even cloud-based ADF, okay, Databricks. ETL. Just understand him. At least why I am writing these names, you can understand in the present situation. You got my point. So Databricks, like something like Matillion, something like other tools are there. PySpark, Spark, Python based PySpark, normal Spark. You got my point. Used to do. These ETL tools will extract the data from the data sources called databases and transform the data, clean the data, prepare the data based on the business rules. Based on the business rules. Do you got my point, sir? Then they used to store the data in the data warehouses. From there, data analytical people will connect and analyze the data. Do you got my point? Now, In simple understanding, mostly Spark with Hadoop they used to work, sir.
Yeah.
Why? Because what is Spark? Why Spark is coming to the picture? How differ than data informatic and data stages? Actually, what will happen? You just fed up with your storages, then you just start implementing, separating the data, cleaning the data, and preparing the data, and then you are maintaining a whatever the necessary data, that only you are maintaining the Hadoop. Got my point? But unfortunately, still, okay, still people are facing a problem because of business ideas are huge. Today, 10 business ideas you have, tomorrow 100 business ideas will come. So that based on the business people, analytical operations are increasing. Based on the analytical operations, rules also increasing. You got my point? So once the rules are increasing, ETL tools are taking a more burden. So in our olden days, directly we can drink water from the ponds. You got my point? Directly drink from water from the tap. But nowadays, nobody are drinking water from the tap. They are keeping a purifier. Purifier is a ETL. But still, somebody have a huge money, like a Kohli. He is drinking alkaline water. You got my point. So that means ETL is also taking a burden on the business rules. That's why they separated. You want UV RO water, you choose this type of filter. You want alkaline water, choose this type of filter. You got my point? Same like that. For batch processing, choose a Informatica data stages like that. For online streaming process, we need a more power now. So for that, Spark will come into the picture. Got my point? They separated the data segregations by using like this, and they are separated the tools also. For this process, these tools. For this process, Spark. Why Spark only fit to Hadoop? Because Spark need a cluster to do the operations. Hadoop having a own cluster, na? That cluster will be used. That's why Hadoop Spark combination is more in that time. Now, whatever it may be, this is all none of our business as a Splunk guys. Only for understanding the things what happened in the real time. Got my point? Now this is the process. Now coming to that, Hadoop was updated to cloud. That is Snowflake. Got my point? Now Spark also updated to Spark Databricks. And Informatica also updated to ADF. ISCS and something like Azure Glue, like Azure Databricks, Dataproc, Data Fusion, Dataflip, Matillion, DBT. Like multiple tools are there. You can add in the Amirpet, you call these tools. This was updated. You got my point? Like this, the process has increased. Got my point, sir? Now, like that, used to store the data in the data warehouses and the data analytical operations are done. This is the flow of entire business. Database, ETL, data storages, data warehouses. From there, data analytics, like data scientist, data engineer, or Splunk analyst also can be applied here.
Yeah.
Splunk analyst. So now come to our Splunk. This is called actually in the data engineers, sir, in the present market. This is the area of data analyst. In the Splunk, database, ETL, data warehouse. Combinedly, we call it as Splunk admin.
ETL and
Database, ETL, and data warehouse. Combinedly call it as a data admin. Data analytical operations like Power BI, Tableau is a Splunk developer. Okay. Apart from that, if you have a security knowledge, security analyst. If you have some predictive operations, logical thinking, or something like that, data scientist also can be done in the Splunk in the form of machine learning toolkit. What I showed in this image, everything we can do on the Splunk. That's why I already told you in the demo. If you understand the Splunk clearly, it is equals to 10 courses in the Amirpet. You can understand database. You can understand ETL. You can understand data warehouse. You can understand data analytical tools. Apart from that, security tools. So actually what will happen in the Splunk? This is a source mission, for example, AT&T missions. Okay. AT&T means it's a network in USA. So otherwise Indian Airlines systems.
AT&T,
Assume that Indian Airlines systems. So I need to monitor this server. So for that, I need to connect to this servers and I need to get the data to Splunk storages. So for that, in that middle, there is a props and transforms. So once the data is injected with the help of props and transforms, we will customize it. We can clean it. ETL operations you can do. And then data warehouse storage will be done in the index. Once the data is in index, in the last class, we searched the data, index equals to ABC. And this is called analyst operations. Now you understand, sir?
Yes.
How Splunk got huge storage capacities in the form of clusters. Huge storage capacities in the form of clusters. Cluster is nothing but group of servers. It is came from the Hadoop Big Data platform only. Okay, huge storage capacity and high availability also is possible. Same in the Splunk also, you can create like this. Multiple. If you are not sufficient with one computer, you can add one more computer. You can add one more. That too cluster. Okay. Still, if your cluster was failed, you can add one more cluster. Your data in the first cluster will be available on second cluster also. Like replication also will be done. That means complete on-prem operations will be possible. No, still you are not happy with on-premises. There is a Splunk cloud. They are providing entire things. You can just utilize it, paying the money after the usage. That's my point. Still you are not happy. Just choose a AWS cloud, Azure cloud, GCP cloud. On that, choose a mission computer. Just install the Splunk Enterprise on that computer. And every operation will be taken care of by you only. All three possibilities are there in the today class is simple point. Huge storage capacities in the form of clusters. And the second point is on-premises, cloud, and native clouds also will be supported with Splunk Enterprise software. This is the 2 points on today class. Whatever the class your wish, you can understand or not. But the 2 points you need to remember, huge storage capacities in the form of clusters. It will support for Splunk on-premises, Splunk cloud, and Splunk with native clouds like AWS, Azure, GCP also possible. These are the 2 points. That my point, sir. So next class will be, sir, this much of data you are storing now. How Splunk is searching the data very faster. This is the second point. Third point. Next, how many types of data it can be deal, and how Splunk will support for multiple ecosystems. How Splunk will support for multiple ecosystems, and what are the alternate tools for Splunk, and what are the drawbacks on it. Next, what are the benefits on documentation and support, and what are the disadvantages of Splunk. We'll see on tomorrow class. Understand, sir?
So he internally uses Elasticsearch also. Splunk, just my question.
Splunk no need. Actually, Splunk is one of the alternative. For example, ELK is a iOS.
Elasticsearch is something a technology which searches from database very fast. Right? Elasticsearch is
same. ELK is a iOS mobile. Splunk is a Android mobile. Both are used for calling. So here, this is one product, that is another product. Both are competitors.
Actually, Elasticsearch doesn't mean any kind of tool. It's kind of technology even in a program.
The technology is nothing but adding the data and searching the data. Actually, the same terminology used for ELK name. Actually, Elasticsearch is nothing but in the cloud also Elasticsearch will be there. Wherever the data you have, it will go and search the data very faster. Whether it is database or not, it will go and search the data from the storages like a search peering. It won't get the data from that place to this place. Wherever the data will be go and search the data from the search peering. That we call it as Elasticsearch. That can be done in the in ELK also, other tools also. Yes, please. Somebody is asking question.
Ravi, today class is very good actually. So
Thank you so much.
background. And one doubt is there, Ravi. So
Please.
real-time data, online data, injecting into the index into the Splunk database. But
Yes.
I'm just worrying, is it real-time data like anything also that, for example, any transaction data or maybe retail
Actually,
applications? Yeah.
Splunk is claiming that it is completely real time, but it is near real time, sir. Some latency will be there. Nanosecond latency will be there. That is the first point. While you are storing your data, you can store historical data, real time data. Even you can transform the data and you can clean the data and you can store it also. Before storing itself, like how ETL process is happening, same like that you can do in the Splunk. You got my point, sir?
Yeah, but finally it's storing in the Splunk
Storage
Hadoop
of Splunk.
data storage only.
Yes.
Index, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
But already databases are there, right, Ravi? So for quickly responding something for any
Yes,
queries
yes.
and all. So why
Definitely.
we are storing into the Splunk? Only for
Why?
the
Because
analytics only or real-time project?
on the
Uh,
analytics first use case, and the second point is real time. Whereas databases won't support with mission data. No? So real time operations can't be done with database. No? So that if you have a use case to combine real time data and the historical data, so is it possible with databases?
no.
No.
So
In the
only,
Splunk, we
yeah,
can correlate. You can correlate both the things. You can combine for example, one hand you can connect the data with the databases. Database have a structured data, and you are getting the data from database MySQL. On the other hand, you are getting a system logs. Both are storing in two different storages. And from there, by using a Splunk query, we'll correlate. But it is not possible in other systems. No? Okay. It can be done with historical analysis. It can be done with real-time operations, real-time analyticals. And it is also correlated. The main power of the Splunk is correlation. Correlating means, so you and me combined. You are one part, I am another part. We and you are connected. That is called correlating. That is the main power of Splunk.
but
Rich in data
finally
analysis.
our end goal will be for the Splunk mostly the machine data and device data only we
Yes,
most
yes,
prefer. Okay.
yes. But end of the goal of the business, every business is analytics. Whether it is security analytics, whether it is business analytics, whether it is data analytics, all can be done in the Splunk.
But my thinking only, I am falling into the security. Then in
Now
that
you are
case,
falling into the
both.
security, but
So in that case,
before falling into the security, you need to understand first data. You need to
correct, correct.
understand good enough in the data analytics first. Otherwise, you can't understand the security operations. Why? Because this once you are in the data analytics, then if you know security knowledge, then you will be a security engineer. Without
But I
having
can
a data
filter
analytics,
that. Yes, I can filter that.
you won't be.
Yeah.
You won't be. Got my point. The first you need to be a data analytics. Then you need to have some knowledge on security assets. Then both will be combined with your logical thinking. Then you will be a security analyst. Got my point. Without knowing the how to use a knife, how you will murder the person. First you train in the knife, then train to how to kill person. Then both combined, perfectly successfully murder the person. Okay, I am not motivated to do murdering. So that's all enough today. We'll meet on tomorrow with more
Okay.
content. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. So rejoin the section, Purna Vivek, Disha, something like. Please.